Hi, I'm Trevor with the ALDI Test Kitchen. I've been a professional chef for 8 years. Today we're gonna do tacos for a family. We're gonna do 2 protein options. One's gonna be a seasoned ground beef. The other one's gonna be a chicken tinga.
Hi, I'm Javier. I'm a chef at the ALDI Test Kitchen and have been a professional chef for 8 years.
Today, I'm gonna show you how to make my variation on the skirt steak taco with a couple of twists. We got a little bit of shopping to do, so let's get going to Aldi.
So when I make steak tacos, I like to choose skirt steak. All that marbling in there melts right into the steak, giving it a nice tender texture.
For the guacamole today, we're gonna need 3 ripe avocados. You know they're good to go when they have a tiny little bit of give when you press into them.
These guajillo chilies are a staple in Mexican cuisine, and I'm gonna be using it in my homemade salsa.
So one of the proteins I'm gonna go with is gonna be ground beef. I think it's a great, quick, easy, affordable option for a family of 5. It's simple, but I'm gonna show you how to make it taste great. So we're back from Aldi with all the ingredients we need for the taco bar.
One of the variations of the tacos that I'll be making is a skirt steak taco called the campechano, which is topped off with some of our great chorizo we got here.
Let's get started on the ground beef and the roasted corn. So we're gonna get started on the ground beef. We have a nice hot pan here. It's with vegetable oil. We have the 85-15 ground beef. We're gonna add it straight to it. And as we're cooking it, we're breaking it apart with a spoon just to get those nice bite-sized pieces.
All right, so now that we got our nice gorgeous piece of Angus skirt steak, we wanna go ahead and season the steak with a nice proper amount of salt and pepper. We really want the steak to shine through amongst all the other things, so we don't wanna cloud it up with any extra seasonings. You can go ahead and get in with your hands, don't be afraid. Turn it over and do the same process with this side. So from here, we're gonna take some of our vegetable oil and we're just gonna go about 2 tablespoons around the edge. You'll know this is ready when the oil is nice and starting to get a shimmer. You wanna take that pan and just kind of swirl it around. So we're gonna take our steak. Got a nice little fat cap right there. We're gonna go ahead and drop that face down. And you wanna hear that sizzle. That's a good indicator that this pan is nice and hot. We're gonna get a nice coating on the bottom of this steak. Nice crispness to it. And generally with a lot of cast iron pans, they tend to kind of like bulge up in the center and all the oil kind of drips off to the side. So every once in a while, grab yourself a towel and then just kind of help that oil roll off to the side and into the center. Go ahead and cook it about 4 minutes on each side, but we really want to just let it hang out.
So we have a spice mix that is 3 parts chili powder and then it's 1 part of each of the following. Can never have too much flavor. So our ground beef is mostly browned here. So we're gonna take the spice mix and just evenly sprinkle it all over the top of it. You have to be careful. You don't want your pan too hot where you scorch the spices because that'll add an unnecessary smokiness.
All right, so we're almost there.
We're gonna go ahead and pull the steak. You want that juice from the inside of the steak, all the juicy fattiness that has built up in the inside as the steak cooks to allow it to settle back throughout the steak. Go ahead and turn the pan off. So we've turned the heat off the pan and we're gonna go ahead and reserve all the drippings at the bottom of the pan. We're gonna use all this to cook our tortillas.
Perfect, the ground beef's about 90% done at this point. You're just about ready to go. So we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of water into the pan, stir it around and sort of cover it, and we're gonna move on to the corn. As the pan's heating up, it's gonna be the same way, just a little splash of oil, bring it to a nice warm smoking point. No seasonings on it, we're just gonna get a nice char all around. And you're just gonna leave it untouched for probably 1 to 2 minutes. Just get a nice scorch on the first side. Toss it around and just do the same for each side. It doesn't have to be perfect on every side, but we just want coverage all around. So the corn's good to go. You have a nice like little blister on a few sides of it. It's starting to get a little brown, a little black in some places. We're gonna transfer it to a bowl and reserve it till we're ready to go with the rest of the taco bar.
All right, so let's hop on to making our roasted serrano salsa. Any great taco, you have to pair it with the great salsa, and there's so many different salsas, but this one is my particular favorite. It adds a good amount of heat and a balance of acidity to your already really rich taco. So we're gonna get a cast iron skillet, nice and hot, and then we're gonna start adding our vegetables to it. We got 1 jalapeno serrano pepper. We're gonna do 1 onion half, face down, and then we're gonna do 2 Roma tomatoes, skin side down. Just kind of layered around the pan. Make sure nothing's too crowded in there because, you know, we want that heat to continue cooking all of this. And we're gonna take all our ingredients, toss in a little bit of vegetable oil, a little salt and pepper, and then we're just gonna let them hang out in here. What we're looking for is a nice tatemado look. And in Spanish, that just means a char. We're just gonna go ahead and give it a char. We're just gonna go ahead and leave these guys hanging out. They're gonna dance on their own in the pan. That's fine. They're just having some fun. And you kind of have something looking like that, but you want it a little bit darker than this. You want to really bring out that charred flavor. So the only reason that we put the tomato skin down is because if you were to flip it over to that cut side, all the juices are going to start extracting from the tomato and they're going to start creating this moisture barrier, and it's going to really kind of get these guys stuck down, and we're going to be losing a lot. And we want to maintain that flavor. We don't want to keep cooking them down. The great thing about cast irons is they retain the heat. You don't have to keep that heat from the bottom going from the stove. All right, let's pull these guys off. We're gonna go ahead and flip that jalapeno. We just got a little bit longer. We're gonna be able to start making our salsa.
So we have the seasoned ground beef over here, but we also have a chicken tinga as our other protein option. I went with the chicken thighs over chicken breast. The dark meat's a little more tender. It's a little more flavorful. It's just a personal preference of mine. It's different from the ground beef because the tinga is a traditional, more Mexican style. It has a little smoke and a little bit more heat to it, and I think that offers a little something for everyone. So now we're gonna make a homemade fresh guacamole. For that, we're gonna need 3 avocados. I cut them in half and then I scored them all the way to the skin. That's gonna make it really easy to pull out with the spoon. So you just run the spoon along the back of the skin and you can just pop them out. We're going to be adding 1 medium red onion, all diced up. We have a single Roma tomato, cleaned and diced, so no seeds in here. We have a jalapeno, also diced up very finely. We have the juice of 1 lime, as well as the zest of 1 lime. A single clove of garlic, very well minced, along with half a bunch of cilantro chopped up.
All right, so we've charred all our veggies. We're gonna make our salsa. This is a pretty straightforward, easy one, but it's gonna develop a lot of flavor. We're gonna go ahead and start getting it all in the blender. Just gonna go ahead and slide these guys in there, just like that. A nice generous pinch of salt to season it up. Got some lime juice in there that's gonna help it all spin and build up some acidity. Let's get this lid on, and then we're just gonna go on high until you start getting it all nice and pureed. Now it's all nice and smooth. We're gonna go ahead and grab half a bunch of cilantro. Now the reason we reserve this towards the end is because you don't want your cilantro browning it and murking up your salsa. You kind of want that nice ambery color. Just gonna go ahead and take some of this, get it in there. We're gonna go on high for another 3 seconds. And that's it. Got a nice roasted jalapeno salsa.
We're gonna mash this all up with a spoon to get it well incorporated. It's never been my personal preference, but you can add pretty much whatever you want to guacamole. I've seen a fair number of fruit guacamoles, such as grape, watermelon, pineapple. Just dice it up real fine, and you can add it in just with the remainder of the ingredients. We're gonna add in a little bit of salt and pepper. And now we're gonna give it a shot. It's great. It's light. It's got a good zest to it. It's got the cilantro coming through, but not too strongly.
We're gonna take that same pan that we cooked our skirt steak in, all the drippings and the little fat that rendered out of it, we're gonna reuse that to heat up our tortillas. Get it heated up to about a medium heat. You wanna get that oil to kind of redistribute throughout the pan. And we're gonna take the tortilla and we're just kind of gonna rub it around the edges, getting some oil picked up on there, some of that nice dripping. You're gonna start hearing a little bit of the sizzling. It's just gonna be a quick, like 5 to 10 seconds. We really just wanna get this tortilla nice and heated through. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up an edge and flip it on over. Now on this side, you got a lot of the drippings kind of sticking to the tortilla. That's what we want. We're gonna let this side hang out just a little bit longer, and we're gonna do a really quick trick to kind of get them nice and chewy throughout the center. So as the tortilla is kind of picking up some heat there, we're gonna take a teaspoon measure, but we're only gonna take about half a teaspoon. I'm gonna go ahead and drizzle it around the pan. It's gonna start creating some of that steam. I'm gonna cover it up and let it finish cooking through. Now you're gonna have a nice crunchy exterior with a nice chewy center. Just gonna take our tortilla, lift it up, put it in our tortillero. Just be sure to go ahead and line your tortillero with a nice towel. That'll keep the tortillas crunchy on the outside and maintain that nice chewy center.
So now I got everything prepared. Let's go ahead and put it all together.
I don't know about you, but I'm hungry. So let's build some tacos.
So I'm gonna do an Americanized version of a beef taco. So for that, I'm gonna use a flour tortilla.
A nice little trick and a pretty professional move is to find the seam. There's usually some lines on the inside. That's where you wanna start building your taco.
We're gonna put some seasoned ground beef right down the center line of it. And then for my toppings on this, I'm gonna do some shredded lettuce, a dash of sour cream across the top. We're gonna do some Monterey Jack cheese, nice and shredded. And then we'll add some of our charred corn over the top.
And we're gonna go on my variation of the campechano, which is traditionally steak and chorizo. But I gave it a little bit of a twist. I added some cheese to kind of build up some of that richness and some more flavor. So we got some on there, and take a nice hefty spoonful of this chorizo. Look at that. Just kind of pile it on there. This is gonna be a big taco. It's gonna be full of a lot of goodness. Get some of that roasted serrano salsa, give it a nice little stir. You want all those flavors that have settled down at the bottom to just kind of pick up. Get a nice scoop of that salsa, just kind of layer it on there. And last but not least, let's get some fresh cilantro on here.
And for the chicken tinga, we're gonna keep this one very traditional. So we're gonna use another flour tortilla. We're gonna do a line of our shredded chicken right down the middle of our tortilla. And our toppings for this one, we're gonna do cilantro, a little bit of diced red onion, and then a nice squeeze of lime. I think this is a really great way and very affordable to feed an entire family of 5.
And so for my second taco, I went ahead and made a separate salsa. This one's a yellow mole. Still get that tortilla. We're gonna find that seam, keep it on the inside, scoop it up. All right, so for this one, just go ahead and grab a nice pinch of some freshly diced onion. Give it a nice fresh flavor to it. And then we'll grab some of this yellow mole. This is a nice versatile mole. It goes with fish, it goes with pork, and we're using it for this steak taco right here to give us some flavor. I like my tacos pretty saucy, so I'm gonna go with 2 spoonfuls on this one. Just butt that up right there. You got 2 delicious steak tacos. I'm gonna finish this one off with some cilantro as well. And that's it. That's my take on these 2 tacos.
Let's give it a shot. Messy, spicy, and delicious.
And with a couple of beers, you got a great dinner for 2. Cheers.